welcome back to another Tegiwa YouTube video. We're joined today with Jesse off of YouTube.
How you doing?
And his awesome Civic Coupe. So I've just been chatting to Jesse off camera a bit about sort of the history of the car, and I guess you guys have seen this at Cars and Coffee, and you're always down at Tegiwa.
Try and get around, don't I, mate?
Yeah. So yeah, talk to me about like the history of the car, Jesse.
So I had, you probably know, I had my EP3 Type R. Absolutely fell in love. Well, my mate first took me out in an EP3 Type R, and I just fell in love with a high revving, aggressive cam turnover of a K20, and that was it from there. So I got an EP3, did as much as I can, kind of naturally aspirated to that, and then I seen these in America. Seen a blue, I think these are SIs in America, EM1s, and I was like, I need one of them. I absolutely love the front end of EK9s, but then love the rear end of like the hijack Civic from Fast and Furious. So I didn't want to settle for one that wasn't blue. I thought it has to be blue. It took me 4 years to find a good condition, no rust blue one. So I quite literally bought it. I seen it on Facebook, sent a deposit, didn't even look because I trusted the buyer. I already knew the seller, sorry. Went and bought it, and then it's just been an absolute money pit from there. Luckily, not in repairs, just in in modifying it.
What sort of state was it in when you got it? Obviously it didn't have it's got a K20 in now, hasn't it?
Yeah, so it had just a D16 Y7 non-VTEC engine. I think it was like 103 horsepower. It had some VTI fan blade alloys on it. It sat really high, no spoiler on the back, big massive steering wheel, standard cloth seats, just proper like grandad spec old car. You'd just expect an old boy to be driving it down the A50 or something, and then here we are now.
So what was sort of the first thing that you did with it? You just abused the D16 for a bit?
Absolutely kicked that ZED in, took that round Three Sisters. That engine just didn't give up. They're fun engines because you can use all the power, but they're so slow. Well, the first thing I wanted to do, knowing that I was going to K-swap it, is get all the underneath treated, get it all protected, ready for whatever happens, and then kind of do all the suspension before chucking power at it, because I didn't want to chuck a faster engine in, take it around the corner and then end up in a tree. Yeah. So I did everything. The K-series was the last pretty much thing I've done. Well, Motion did. So yeah, suspension, full poly bush, yellow speed coilovers, camber arms, the lot. Then had some fun in it with the D-series, chucking it around some corners and that. And to be fair, it did quite well.
Yeah.
Against quite a few other cars when it was just 103 horsepower, just because you can hold it in the corners.
Yeah.
And then I got to about a year in with my ownership, and I was like, I need some more power. So that's kind of where we are now. But everything, cage, seat, steering wheel, was all done before the K-series. So you'd see it on the road, you'd think it were like 500 brake or something, and then it'd be, So yeah, that's kind of where we are now. The only thing left to really do is a full respray. It needs mapping, naturally aspirated. And then I'm probably going to boost it, to be honest.
Oh, sick.
I've just got that itch for a boosted K-series. Yeah. It'll ruin it because it takes a bit of the drivability away, but I just need to do it, to be honest.
Yeah. So yeah, let's start by like popping the bonnet then and having a look at the K-series. So is all the paint under here original?
No. So engine came out. Well, quite literally everything came out. Yeah. All the firewall got stripped, and Motion sent it off to a painter who actually, like, I think they call it tin tape. So the tin taped over all the old bolt hole. I didn't want it smoothed off like a show car. It's more of a fast street car, to be honest. But tin taped over all that, lacquered, painted all the engine bay, and then obviously the K-series started being put together in the bay. But
absolutely mint, isn't it?
Yeah, everywhere you look, it gets kind of more impressive. Yeah. And I'm not saying because it's my car, it's just the work Motion have done. Like
even like down to the little clips on the end of the cables and stuff. I'm pretty sure every single nut and bolt underneath as well is brand new. Wow.
Every single nut and bolt's been done. I tried to make sure of it, except the throttle body.
Yeah.
But every single nut and bolt, like as you can see, like brand new bolts here, brand new bolts there. I just tried to, I wanted it perfect. I wanted it how I wanted it. And
yeah. I suppose you'd had the EP3 and you knew sort of what you were coming into. And
yeah, exactly.
This is like the car that you want to build.
Yeah, I wanted an EP3 engine in an old Civic, and I'm buzzing with how it's turned out, to be honest.
Amazing. So we've got the K20 here. What modifications have we done, if any, to the actual K20?
So it's all from Tegiwa, to be honest, except from like decoration parts like your Skunk 2 stuff. It's got 4:1 manifold, then a 2.5 inch like track friendly system all the way back, straight kind of cut intake.
Yeah.
I think that's about it for kind of
standard manifold as well.
Yeah, standard manifold, because obviously I was going to boost it. I thought I'll just keep with the standard one.
Yeah.
I think that's about it, to be fair, for the mods. Just everything that you'd need just for mappable kind of EP3 really.
So what power? Do you know what power you're at the minute?
I don't, to be honest. I'm going to guess like 225, 230 or something, but it needs mapping in. But I'm interested to see, because I don't know if it's because obviously it's a lighter shell, but it keeps up with a lot of things that are a lot quicker on the table kind of thing. So it'd be interesting to see, definitely.
It's good because it is so nice, but at least you've thought like, I want to use the car and keep it on the road, and not just, you know.
We did the kswap and it had no power steering, and it was a bit rough. Like it was, if I wanted to nip to Asda or pull into a petrol station or park somewhere, nip to Tesco, whatever, it was very light. You're swinging off the wheel. I thought, no, I want this to be an EP3, but in an old chassis. So I even got I think we've got a K-tuned relocation kit for the power steering reservoir pump. So that's underneath the alternator. Then a DC5 reservoir. So it's got power steering. It literally everything you could think of.
You thought about everything.
Yeah, I just wanted it to be friendly to drive, and to be fair, with the power steering, it does feel a lot nicer on the road. You kind of get a bit more faith in it.
You've obviously got like quite a bit more power now coming from the K20.
Yeah.
So what sort of, like, you got a diff in it now?
Yeah, so it's got an M factory LSD, and that literally came from, I was I think it was Dragstalgia at Santa Pod, and I seen them doing the 2-wheel peels and stuff warming up, and I literally just messaged Dave while the Civic was at Motion Motorsport, and I just went, can you put an LSD in it? And he was like, I've just put the gearbox together. I was like, no, need an LSD now. it was that impulsive, but that's made a massive difference as well. Going around corners, accelerating in the wet, it like drags you instead of just one wheel spinning. Huge difference. And then the actual gearbox, obviously it's just an EP3 gearbox. My good friend Will actually gave me the gearbox, like donated to the build kind of thing, and he said it needed like a 3rd and 5th synchro. Motion took it apart and said all it needs is a 2nd, so literally chucked a 2nd gear synchro in it, and there's no crunching whatsoever.
Brand new.
Yeah, brand new. I think that's it for the gearbox, to be fair. Just fully refurbed gearbox with an M factory LSD in it, and it just kind of works.
Okay, so moving on to sort of the suspension of wheels and brake setup.
Yeah.
We've got yellow speeds of the Dynamic Pro Sports.
Pro Sport, yeah, coilovers. Proper full like geo setup by Motion Motorsport. We've got adjustable camber arms front and back. I guess suspension goes on the cage as well, doesn't it? That's stiffened the suspension up. The only thing I'm missing is the strut brace in the bonnet, but I think that's about it for suspension. Is coilovers, proper setup, fully polybushed underneath, everything.
I suppose it just felt like a new car when it came back from Motion.
It felt even better. It was. I wish everyone could experience how, like, you drop it off and it being a little bit boaty, a bit old, and then you pick it up, it's like flipping out. Like you turn the wheel like that, and oh mate, honestly, I love it. I think that's about it for suspension. Got obviously the LCA arms at the back.
Yeah, that's kind of all you need for the.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Yeah. They don't even have anti-roll bars in the back of these.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, that's about it for suspension.
What wheel setup have you got?
We've got rotor grids on there, 16-inch, just because in the future I wanted to get a bit of a bigger caliper. Yeah. And then I think we've got Nankang NS2R tyres, useless in the wet, but they're pretty good in the dry, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the tyres 205, 45, 16. So it's pretty much, I studied it for about a week before I ordered any tyres and wheels, and I wanted as wide as I could go with no roll in the arches and no rubbing, and I've just got away with it. The backs.
Have you got a square setup, both the same at the front and back?
Yes, yeah, exactly the same front and back.
So I guess 205 is quite a bit wider than what it would have come with it from the factory?
I think it were like 175 from the factory.
Okay.
I think something like that. So yeah, quite a bit wider.
Yeah, sick. And brake-wise, what have we done?
So I've done all this, and mate, I've got some Euro car parts brakes in it because it was at motion, and I was like, just chuck them on. I want to get the car back now. I'm buzzing for it. So the brakes are awful.
Right.
I'll be honest. You have to stop like a mile before you actually want to stop. But there's something that I save up, and instead of just chucking new discs and new pads in it, just buy some like K-Sport calipers or something like that, get some big brakes on it. So that's a work in progress, but they work. Yeah. Then obviously they did the caliper conversion at the back, so we got trailing arms from a VTI. Yeah. Brand new everything on the back, calipers, pads, the discs, a lot. So
that must feel a bit better than...
It does feel better, definitely, yeah, but it's just you don't realise how much difference, like a bit more weight on the front as well.
Yeah.
The brakes just aren't happy with me, to be honest.
And what like styling parts have you got? Because I guess like this grill and stuff isn't stock.
Yeah, to be fair, minimalistic. That grill, that isn't stock, but it's stock on like a SI in America.
Okay, so it's like OEM Plus.
Yeah, so it's like, so they don't get the Type Rs of these in America. They're called SIs. So that's like a Type R in the UK, SI in America kind of grill.
Yeah.
The lip, that's from an SI, and then just the spoilers from an SI, and I think that's apart from obviously the wheels. That's literally it for the outside. I didn't want to go. I'm debating it now, like carbon bonnet, carbon wings, and everything, but I didn't want to go too far away from just. I want it to look OEM Plus
it's almost
from
like
America.
A Honda Type R, one of these in the UK.
Yeah, exactly. It's a UK Type R EJ6. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to go for. I think the only thing on the rear, I've just got one of them air ducts on the rear bumper. That's about it for the styling.
Shall we have a look inside?
Go for it, mate. Yeah.
Okay, so we're inside the car, and the first thing is this shifter and these JDM Yo seats.
Yeah, JDM seats. They're definitely JDM. No, they're reps, to be fair, mate. Did you think they were real?
They're not half bad, are they?
They're not bad. Fair. No, they're not real bride seats. I ain't got $3.5 grand to chuck at some seats, to be honest. They're just like, I don't even know what they are, but they're MOT approved, is what I got told, and the cloth is just. The cloth is just the cloth, but I am going to be looking at some pole positions for it because I like that little nod at the Prem editions, being Recaro. Then interior is literally a hybrid racing shifter. That is unreal. That brings the whole car together. Just that feel of the shifter. Personal steering wheel. A big. I've seen that on eBay, so I bought it. To be honest, it's actually dead good on the motorway. You can see people coming in often on the motorway. You barely have to use your wing mirrors for that, to be honest.
That is crazy. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's five in one mirror.
So when I'm sat there, I could probably see. I can see out these windows.
That is mad.
Like behind my head.
I've never seen one of these before. What is this? JDM, or just random?
I think it's called a wink mirror.
Wow. It's
quite cool. It takes about a week to get used to, but when you're used to it, it comes in handy.
He's literally got eyes in the back of his head.
Yeah, exactly. And apart from that, mate, we've got the JDM cup holders from Tegiwa, and that's just a speedo. It does like 0 to 60s, quarter miles, and stuff like that. I don't know if I'm missing anything. It's like, I think I got told it was like top spec in here because it's got an armrest, it's got the heated wing mirrors, sunroof, electric windows. And apparently that's like one of the top specs for this car. It doesn't make.
Is this standard? The roof lining?
So it's my mistake. Yeah. So I took all the pillars out, B pillars, A pillars, everything. Like plastic primered them, sprayed them, just rattle canned them black. Took all the roof liner out, rattle canned it all black.
It's made a massive difference because that's one thing with like old Hondas. You get in it, it's all like the
cream,
old
kind of whitey. Yeah, I just don't like it.
Made it quite modern in here, actually. I really like that.
That's honestly one of the probably better things I've done to any of my cars is change the roof lining from like that cream to black. Plus it matches the carpet in the back, which I got done. In fact, that was one of the first things I did. So I stripped the whole interior and then painted all the back like matte satin black, and I was like, no, I'm not happy with that. It looks a bit unfinished. So I got someone to lay impact tuner to lay a load of carpet in there just to finalise it a little bit. So when I did that, I was like, the roof needs to match now. So literally everything was out in here, and I had a gas mask on, bloody spray everywhere.
Yeah,
but
it looks sick, mate. Like, good job. I
appreciate it, man. And then obviously the harnesses, TRS harnesses, and that's about it really. But the best that I've always said, the best thing you can do to a car is a steering wheel and a shifter, because it's the only things you steering wheel, seats and a shifter.
Yeah, I mean the seats and harness for me have always made a big difference, because when you are giving it some, it holds you
with the car, aren't you?
Yeah, you're not. You can concentrate on your driving because you're not wafting around the shop, are you?
Yeah, you're not trying to hold onto the wheel to stop yourself sliding. You just with the car. No, definitely, that's another thing that made a massive difference, going from just them, because they're like big wide. There's no bolsters on the side. No, so going from them to this and just taking the car for a drive. I had the coilovers at the time. I was screaming and shouting. I was like, oh my god, this is sick. But yeah, that made a huge difference as well. And
we got is it a bolt-in half cage?
Yeah, bolt-in half cage. SW Motorsport done that for me. It's got the plates in the arches and underneath, so it obviously don't rust and let water through. I actually did a bit of the painting on that when I went down to get it done. So
I was just going to say, like, the colour, is it standard or like a custom colour?
It's very similar to the Spoon Yellow. It's not the exact same code, but it's like another paint version, the paint manufacturer's code, if that makes sense. So that matches the rocker cover. I tried to match the calipers, but I couldn't get any paint in time and I wanted it doing. So I tried to just yellow and blue is all I wanted. So I wanted that. It's just an OCD thing. I just wanted that to match that, and whatever yellow bits I go for.
It's nice because you've not gone crazy. Some people go crazy and go
yellow wheels,
yellow like interior.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
stop
the little touches and it all ties in together. It's really, really smart.
Yeah, I feel like it's not too much, but it's just enough kind of thing.
Is there anything else you want to like mention with it, or
just a big thank you to the people that have helped? Will, Motion Motorsport, Tegiwa, yourself, Johnny, everyone down here at Tegiwa and Motion, James, Jake, everyone at Motion. I'm going to forget people. This is going to do my head in. Sean at SW Motorsport. Big shout out to Rotor Wheels. We actually did a little collab with them for the wheels. Mark and Reese at Top Marks in Ilkeston for doing they're going to be painting the whole car.
Also shout out Ilkeston in general.
Yeah, shout out Ilkeston, of course you're from Ilkeston. Yeah, just I've got to apologise if I'm missing anyone, but everyone that's helped, man, because without the people like helping out, it wouldn't have been possible. But
that's what makes a build like this possible, though. The people, isn't it? It's not just, you know, you've thrown some money at it, like the sort of friendships and stuff that you make along
the way. Yeah, exactly, and that adds to the reason I don't want to sell it. Not just because I love the car, but because so many people have kind of chipped in, helped out, done their bit. Like there was, I think it was Kaizen on Instagram, like just reached out to me and said, if you want a rocker cover doing, I'll do the rocker cover. And it's like just people like that coming together. It's got a lot of sentimental value, this car. So yeah, I hope I'm not missing anyone out. No, I don't think I am. I think that's about it.
And where can people find you on socials and your YouTube? We'll give that a shout out.
Literally, if you just type in my registration, J3ESE on Instagram, and I'm pretty sure it still comes up on YouTube, but if not, YouTube is just Jesse Collingham. There's nothing professional about my channel, nothing like this. I just pick the camera up and kind of do what I want to do with my cars, and that's about it. No scripted, nothing. Just yeah, follow the build, see where it goes from here.
Yeah, thanks for coming down, mate. Like,
yeah, of course.
It's great. Obviously, we see you all the time down here, but it's nice to actually get in depth about the car.
Yeah, and how much has gone into it. Yeah.
And I guess, yeah, give it a like if you've enjoyed the video. Drop us a follow, drop Jesse a follow.
Appreciate it.
And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.